Welcome to A Theory of Nothing. I am your host, Scott. In this video, I want to touch base on my feeling about what we're experiencing for reality and who caused or what caused the Mandela Effect. So I think we are living in a string theory-based reality. I think that this is a simulated reality of one form or another, well above our understanding of what that is, because of the way things alter and change and have, in my opinion, through history. Probably all of us were affected all the way back to when we were childhood. There was probably bits and pieces of it happening. What I think happened was there was individual entities from other universes, maybe working in conjunction with our own, that were causing the bridges between realities, which is where God and angels and demon and devils come from, right? I think that they're just like aliens too, that they're spiritual entities, and spiritual as we understand it, but they are a form of energy entity, conscious entity that is existing in another simulated reality, running parallel to ours in time as we understand time, and that they are probably far more advanced than we are, and they have already learned how to cross between universes, maybe ours, maybe multiples, without rupturing and destroying those universes or disrupting them. So how that happens, I don't know. But I think what CERN has done, and they've been working on it since the 70s, but that in 2009 they achieved the first ever particle collision, which is right around when September 2009, they were successfully able to collide particles. That is when the Mandela Effect was first, I think, brought to mainstream attention as major shifts. I believe CERN shut down for a year because they needed to figure out what the hell they did. They knew they were successful in it, so now they need to see what the outfall was. You remember, they're the creators of the World Wide Web. They probably have access to anything and everything that they want through the internet. So they went out and monitored it all, tried to figure out what was going on, and they discovered Mandela Effect. That is where we're getting Mr. Ellis holding up the sign around his neck of Bond 1 and Mandela, and then the sign about, CERN employees are happy. I think that's because they knew that they are the reason that the Mandela Effect happened. And how that happened was by them colliding the particles together, they created a creative, they broke apart energy to the point of all the way down to the glue that basically holds it together by smashing particles together, right? At that subatomic level. And by doing so, I think what it did is it screwed up our simulation code, our reality code, and caused a emergence of two universes, at least two universes together, potentially even more. But I believe our universe and another universe merged together. Now, why isn't there two of everybody? Why isn't there two of everything? Why is it just we have bits and pieces of past events from what appears to be a different reality, and some residual of it in our that we remember, yet all of us are here? Well, I think my thinking behind that is that it may go back to when the particles merged together. When they exploded the particles, that the universe tried to self-correct and merge particles back together. I think that that may have been an alternate universe that was doing the exact same thing at the exact same moment, and it took that effect for those two universes to merge together. Now, the reason why some of us are remembering, some of us aren't, I think we literally merged together with another self. I think that's why we had physical changes occur, yet our mental, our conscious is what it is. Now, there may be still two universes that are both muddy messes. There may have been ours with a different one's past and some memories of that, and then there may be theirs with our past and their memories of that. And we all may be going through this in confusion, and us are in the other universe wondering what's going on, and they're in our bodies, and vice versa, right? And because we swapped everything and swapped memories, and then when things went back together, went back apart, they didn't set right. There was all these different things that got mixed up. And, it would stand to reason that we got moved there, they got moved here. Yet, again, these simulations were running so parallel that it was just really historical changes that were happening. And that's why some people are alive that were dead, and vice versa. We probably got jumped into their reality where Nelson Mandela was alive, and he died in ours. So those of us that are aware are probably sitting in that alternate reality right now, doing the same shit we're doing right now, being Mandela affected. Though only over there, they're probably not calling it Mandela affected, because guess what? Nelson Mandela in their reality is dead. Unless that's the effect for them, but it's probably something else with someone else that is alive, like Stan Lee or who knows, any number of people. Maybe JFK over there is all of a sudden alive. So for them, they call it JFK affected or Kennedy affected. Who knows? Anyways, 2009 is when the first particle was successfully created, or the first smash was created. And what they did is they broke apart molecule nucleus all the way to the subatomic level. In other words, they took a neutron and split it all apart. So they broke out the neutrons and the protons. They broke out the gravity that holds it together, the electricity that holds it together. They broke out the quarks, as they call it, which they say there's 4 quarks, and all the way down to the gel, basically the boson particle of the particle, right? The mass that holds that particle together, the boson particle that holds the mass of the neutrino particle together. And I may be wrong on my words, so don't beat me up about that. If that's the case, you're welcome to correct me in the video, but don't beat me up about it. I'm not a physicist. I'd have to go back and see what exactly they call it, because I'm just running them through my brain right now. Anyways, they shut down, they observed, they seen what was going on. To them, it wasn't that big of a deal. They fired that sucker back up, because now their curiosity was even more spiked, and now they needed to try to discover the boson Higgs, or Higgs boson, to figure out what that glue is that holds everything together and why our universe is split. Then in 2010, when they got that thing fired back up again, bang, they started firing it. Now they're up to firing 1 million particles a second into each other and having constant collisions happening. Now they claim that it's not, they send 1 million particles together in opposite directions a second, but not 1 million particles collide. That maybe you're lucky to get 1 out of 1 million that collides, and it's got the potential energy, explosive energy of a mosquito. The energy a mosquito puts off, which, I'm not a physicist. I'm not there. I'm not inside the chamber actually experiencing this, but it would seem to me that you would get a lot more particles hitting each other than that when you're running 1 million through an accelerator and down through these tiny tubes, that you're going to get a whole bunch of explosions. So now think of basically a nuclear bomb going off every second and what the potential damage that would be. Obviously in a containment field, but in that containment field, it's causing a frequency vibration to occur to our existence. And I think that's where that is the key. The frequency, the harmony, the frequency of it is the key to what's thrown off the resonance of everything, and has caused our simulations to merge together. In 2012, which was the next major Mandela shift that we're all aware of, that we talk about, is when they supposedly discovered the Higgs boson. So again, I don't know what they did to accelerate the collisions and to speed it up and to do everything that they did, but that is when they discovered the second one. So, and they haven't stopped since, which I think is why since that discovery, we're seeing more and more shifting occurring, where it seems like we've shifted back to our old universe sometimes on some things, and other things haven't. With text and logos and names and all that different stuff, phrases, seemingly jumping back and forth on a regular basis. I think it kind of is. Now, is it our reality that's jumping back and forth, or is it just collecting more realities, merging more realities together? What I'm not 100% sold on or understanding yet is whether our realities are merging together and then splitting back apart, and we're just both creating residuals from there, i.e. we're jumping back and forth probably, and then the realities have some residual that goes with us. You would say, well, that doesn't make sense, it's inanimate objects. But guess what? Those inanimate objects are still animate. To a subatomic level, they are animate. They are energy vibrating at a frequency. So it is very likely that that residual energy could pass back and forth, especially through the internet base. If you're getting into quantum computing, which is what actually is controlling the World Wide Web and everything else. So that's what I think is going on. That's why I think we've had these major shifts. I think CERN, unintentionally, I don't think that they meant to do that. I don't think they knew or even theorized what was happening. The running theories were they were going to create a black hole and that it would hopefully fizzle out right away, but that they had containment fields that could, they think, close the black hole to prevent us from getting sucked into an alternate universe. But guess what? That was one of the big theories out there. So they didn't really know what was going to happen when they did this, other than they built equipment that they felt they theorized would be able to monitor these explosions on a subatomic level, and they felt that they, through testing it, were able to achieve near light speed acceleration to the point of colliding particles together. So that is what I believe we live in, and that is what I believe has happened to us, and that is constantly happening to us, and that's why we're experiencing all these shifts and these changes. I'll go deeper into all that stuff, but these constant Mandela Effect changes, stovetop stuffing. I just saw a thing in a news feed about that the other day, being craft now, and I always remembered as being stofers. Tripped me out because we were literally just at the grocery store a couple nights ago, and I don't remember it being craft when I saw a can of stovetop stuffing. We don't eat it. We use, my wife makes her own. But sure as shit, we went back to the grocery store last night, and every box, like, slapping you in the face with this craft label right on top. I mean, there's no way to miss it. Like, the old Stouffer's was a circular white logo that had red writing, so it kind of blended into the box a little bit. There may have even been black writing, but it kind of blended in, and it was, semi-cursive Stouffer text. But now it's just straight craft label, craft macaroni and cheese label right on top in a box. It's crazy. So stuff like that is still happening, and I'm very, very, very convinced that it is due to the CERN particle collider causing that. Either they're opening a gateway, and when they open the gateway, the universe is by nature polarize and collide together, kind of like they're splitting particles apart in the accelerator, and then the universe is wanting to pull them back together again. That either that's what's going on, or it's going together and then splitting back apart. So it's either a permanent emergence, or it's a merge and then split back apart again. And there's us in the other universe that are affected and aware and are freaked out over there, and then there's those of us that are over here, and we probably switch places consciously. Our conscious switched places instantaneously, because I think our bodies are one physical being. They're one form of energy, but I think our conscious minds are another form of energy. Anyways, just a quick little video for that. Tell me what your thoughts are and how you feel about that. Like, subscribe, please share my videos, spread it out there. Email me, a.theory.of.nothing@gmail.com, and let's talk about things. Hey, send us all the way up the pike to maybe get it to Mr. Ellis at CERN, and have him email me and have him talk to me. I'd love to know what's going on, dude. I'm way open to hear a physicist's thoughts on things, if it could even get that level. And if you will it in the universe, it may be so. Anyways, Scott Schaefer, A Theory of Nothing. I'm out.
Thank you for watching my video. Please visit my website at samstwitch.com. My X profile is at x.com/samstwitch_Sam. My YouTube channel is at youtube.com/samstwitch. I post videos that I cannot post on YouTube on my BitChute channel at bitchute.com/samstwitch.